I am joined by Christine from Trendi. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Carlos.
Let's talk about Trendi. I went back to the website and checked that out again. We talked to you before on the Spoon, a few different things you guys work on. Why don't you give us a quick pitch and summary of what you do there at Trendi?
Well, thank you for having me first off. At Trendi, I'm our Chief Culinary Innovation Officer. So, what does that mean? That means I look to the future of food. That means I share my passion for food. By training, I'm an executive chef and I'm a leading global culinary trendologist. So, yes, I talk about food all day long. What makes my heart sing at Trendi is that we are an innovative company and we are innovating to eliminate food waste at its source. And when I think about being a chef, I love talking about food and cooking food and writing about food and tracking down food around the world, but I love sharing food around a table.
Mm-hmm.
And that excites me. And when we know that food waste is a huge issue right now globally, we know that 2.5 billion tons of food are wasted globally each year. And we know that 800 million people are food insecure. Well, as a chef and someone who cares about the future of food, it hurts to think that we grow enough food, but we don't feed enough people around the globe. So
Mm-hmm.
Trendy is really coming up with solutions. Solutions for the farmers, solutions for manufacturers, solutions for gourmet and grocery stores, and solutions ultimately for consumers.
And it seems like you have a few different solutions, which is good. You kind of attack this from a few different angles. I'll let you obviously talk about it, but I looked up the biotrim, the bioflakes, that kind of whole system. Why don't you explain that really quickly for our listeners?
Thank you. Yes, these are part of our solutions. So, our biotrim machines are mobile in some cases and fixed in some cases, processing units that go to a farm. So, if it's a biotrim that is mobile, it can go to the farm. It can rescue the fruits and vegetables on site. If the farmer knows that a certain apple isn't like a Chanel boutique of apple and they
Mm-hmm.
have hundreds of thousands of kilos of this, we can put that through the biotrim machine. We could also be mobile in that you have a carrot farm and someone else has a broccoli farm, and they could come to these centers and they could process the food. So, what does it do? It is basically a machine that takes what we put in it through a system, freeze drying for now, and out the
Mm.
end comes bioflakes or biopowders. I like to call them ingredients because we know that putting the commodities through the biotrim, we are preserving 97% of the nutrients. We are shrinking the size of the commodity. So in
Right.
transportation and shipping, we're saving between 80 and 90% on transportation for thinking about how you would traditionally ship tomatoes across the country and such. And the shelf life is huge so that we don't have to think about using those commodities straight away. So let me give you an example. If you were making a tomato sauce and you were shipping tomatoes from one side of the country to the other side of the country, you're shipping a tomato, it's heavy, cases
Mm-hmm.
of them, thousands of kilos of them. You're shipping water because of the moisture in the tomato. And then you have to use that pretty well straight away when it gets to your manufacturing facility. Now, what if you could instead take those rescued fruits and vegetables, put them through a biotrim machine, and have this incredible powder that's vibrant color, incredible taste. So the tomato powder, it is bright red. The aroma is like standing in Nona's garden and smelling
Mm.
those tomatoes. And the outcome can be used, that ingredient can be used in so many different applications. At Trendy, we use something all the time and we say, what's possible? Because really so much is possible. So if I think of that tomato powder, why can't it go to tomato sauce, tomato paste,
Right.
stocks and soups, pasta sauces, pizza sauces? Unbelievable. We're talking about solutions then for the farmer and solutions for the manufacturer. We're also creating a message that consumers know more about than ever before, and that message is food waste. Consumers are aware of this. So if we're rescuing these fruits and vegetables, that story goes along with the commodities.
Mm-hmm.
We know that the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 2 says ending poverty. Well, let's think about how we can get more food to more people. And the powders, it could be a flake or powder, is part of that. But one of the things to remember is that this does not only apply to human food. How about pet food and animal nutrition?
Oh,
How
right.
about nutraceuticals and pharmaceuticals? We know the beauty industry is always looking for natural products. Well, then we could have those natural powders that would go into production. And think about spirits, the liquor and spirits world. If you are making a wonderful chilled spirit that has raspberry flavoring in it, you're not going to want to start with a raspberry. You're going to start with the powder and be able to think about the innovations that can come from that.
Right. Yeah, I was just going to ask you because you first started with like going to the farms and that idea. I was going to ask, is it a B2B business? Essentially, it sounds like it is. There's, I think, a B2C element in the smoothie machine, which we'll get to. But that it does make a lot of sense. It seems like your special sauce or whatever is this processing then of what you
It's the
do with
special
the
sauce.
foods. Yeah, because that seems like something that you can do with lots of different types of foods and not just one type of food.
Anything, any commodity can be put through. So, yes, we talked about farms, but what if you were a large food manufacturer and you had a processing plant? And yes, you have waste. You have part of your production or trim on your product that is waste. Well, that would normally be waste to landfill and other.
Hmm.
But you could put a biotrim machine at your manufacturer. You could then repurpose, upcycle, which is what we hear so much of now, and that buzzword of upcycle. You could do that, take your trims and put it through the biotrim machine. So, when we think about upcycling and rescuing, people always ask, is it a trend or is it a fad? And I write a Trendi watch report looking at emerging, developing, and existing trends. I can say it's neither a trend nor a fad. This is where we are in our life. This is where we are in the food industry and
Hmm.
thinking of the farmers and thinking of being able to feed enough people around the globe. This is something we all have to act on. So from the farm level to the food manufacturing level, take it even a step further. Grocery and gourmet stores. Well, they have waste too. You go into a grocery store and you'll see a table of sale produce. Well,
Hmm.
let's take that back a bit. Let's see how we could repurpose that and use it to create as ingredients in creating new products for those grocery or gourmet stores.
I would say, yeah, that happens all the time. I actually worked as a dairy manager a long time ago in another lifetime, and the amount of yogurt and milk and stuff we had to throw out was ridiculous. Also, just in general, when it comes to like fruits, like right now, I'm eating a lot of freeze dried fruits and things like that. So every day in the produce department, there's just so much waste. So this seems really cool. Now let's just jump over to the smoothie machine, though, or smooth machine, right? Is that what it's called?
Smoothie machine.
Smoothie machine, that's right. And that seems like something that's a little bit different then.
It's a little bit different, but it's around the same message. So the
Okay.
smoothie machine is a vending machine, like a kiosk. And as a consumer, you would walk up to it and you would choose the flavor of a smoothie you'd like. It would be dispensed into the back, mixed with ice, and it serves you a smoothie. The wonderful part about this is that those smoothie blends have been created with rescued fruits and vegetables.
Oh, got it.
So the message is the same. I am all about taste, taste, taste. And the taste of those smoothies are spectacular. There are no additives, there are no preservatives, there is no filler, there is nothing in there except the fruits and vegetables that we put in those blends and made with rescued fruits and vegetables.
Right. So it's
So
kind of a proof of concept of the whole process.
it is, but it's absolutely, and you said it before, it's consumer facing. So these machines, imagine in an airport, imagine at a train station, a university, a shopping center, a grocery store at the door when you're leaving and you really want a smoothie and you push the button and you can get the smoothie.
Hmm.
It's a way to take those rescued fruits and vegetables and use them in another way.
Are these rolled out already?
They're on the way to many, many locations around North America. We are in discussions with people from around the globe who reach out to us to say, we've heard about Trendi. We've heard about what you're doing. And what's remarkable, Carlos, is that with all those conversations, I've never been on a call where people say, that's not a great idea. I've been
Right.
on calls where people are so excited. They understand this. You know, in my product development brain, I talk a lot to chefs in the food service industry and such. So restaurants know. Restaurants understand food waste because the more waste that a restaurant has, that eats away at their bottom line. You know, if you go into a restaurant and it one night and it says homemade croutons, that's most likely because they had leftover bread the day before.
Yeah,
So they're
garlic bread. Yeah.
thinking they're thinking about upcycling and repurposing so that they use all of the ingredients that they have in their kitchen. Well, when we think about the storage space in a kitchen or a prep area in a kitchen of a restaurant, it's sometimes this big. So why can't some of those chefs who we get excited when we talk to them about this, why can't they start to use some of these powders or flakes in their creations and in their recipes? So think about sauces and stews and soups. Think about cocktails. Think about mocktails. Think about rimmers. It's the what's possible. You
Right.
can put this application in anything because it's not a new flavor, because it's the true flavor, it's the true blueberry or apple or whatever it
Right.
is. It's just given to you in a way that saves on your transportation, that saves on your shelf life, that saves on, and 97% of nutrients, it's all right there. I wish you could taste it with me right now.
Oh, I want to taste it after us talking about it enough. I definitely do. I always think of like chocolate because I got these freeze
Yes.
dried cherries with dark chocolate around them.
Yes.
Ridiculously good. And I also, they're healthy. I mean, healthy ish. But the cherry, or the blueberry or whatever it is, like you said, it's all still there, like the nutrients or whatever is from there. Um,
Exactly.
and when you said, food waste and feeding people, yeah, there's no fad there. It's the reality of the world, and we are in it right now, and we need to attack it from all sides to figure out a way for solutions. So,
It's a tipping point. We are at it. We must do something about that for the future. So
yeah,
Trendy is part of that vision for the future. Trendy is striving and moving very quickly. We're such a remarkable company to do and to bring to the world our vision and our solutions. And along the way, partners and interested companies continue to call us to say, how can we be part of this? And how can we come on board and move this forward all together? So you'll find us at events like Smart Kitchen Summit, and you'll find us at food shows, tech shows around the world, talking to leaders, talking about the solutions, and putting things in place.
yeah. I was going to just ask that. Like, you're obviously reaching out still to a bunch of people, and anybody can talk to you about these solutions. And it seems like a great system where you have the B2B setup, you have the B2C idea, which can, lead people to actually taste some of the stuff in your own kind of kiosk. So I like it. Before I let
I'll sort of dangle a little rescued carrot for you in
oh,
that we have a lot of other new innovations coming past our smoothie machine. And
okay.
so we'd love to, have people stay tuned on our website as well as reach out, and we love to have conversations about these solutions, and we love to figure out how we can help the farmers and the manufacturers and the consumers and the future of food.
Well, you actually got to one of my last questions early, which was, yeah, what do you have on the horizon? The, the answer is there's more things coming.
The answer is everything's possible. When we talk about what's
Everything.
possible, it is possible. So you're going to get off this call, and our listeners are going to get off, and they're going to think, wow, I could use blueberry powder in
For this.
cheesecake. And I have a
Yeah.
cheesecake factory. I could use freeze draw, our strawberry flakes in yogurt. There are going to be people who will call and say, wow, there is an application for this. So we can't wait to talk to you.
Well, we're excited to follow the progress, and it's trendy.com. Before I let you go, here's my real final question, which is besides what you're working on, which is a lot of great stuff, what else are you excited about just in general when it comes to the future of food and technology?
I'm excited because we are at a stage where all ideas are out there on the table and people are trying so many new things.
Mm,
I've been a chef in this industry for 40 years, so we've seen the past, and I've never seen the industry coming together the way it is now. Talking to people about the future and having people sit in roundtables and sit together and network at events. thinking about the future. People are excited to make a difference now. And I'm thrilled to be with Trendi, who thinks about this all day long, who thinks about the future of food and being passionate about the future of food. It's a culmination of anyone in this industry as they've worked through their career. This is the culmination, thinking about the future, leaving a mark on the future.
Yeah.
You know, we do a lot of things and talk to the next generation of culinary professionals. And we've gone to culinary colleges around North America with a food waste challenge. So we would send them some powders or some flakes to the culinary schools and have a tech class or an innovative product development class work on their ideas. And I love to do that because we can be providing these solutions now and planning for the future. But the next generation of culinary professionals will take this forward. And I love having them come forward with wonderful ideas, and seeing that spark also makes me really happy to think that it's going to continue forward.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And we see it here at the Swoon all the time. I mean, it's just exciting to talk to everybody. I do so many of these talks with so many different companies. They're all looking for innovation. They're all looking for ways to help. And it isn't just about the bottom line. A lot of times or almost most of the time, it's about pushing us forward, and again, these things that aren't going away and these things that we have to think about, we can look for solutions. So, well, Christine, thanks so much for being here on The Spoon. People can check out Trendi.com. And hopefully I'll see you in person sometime soon in another show.
I would love to anytime, Carlos. Don't forget, because it's all about taste, 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 not waste, waste, waste.
And I want some of those flakes.
I promise.
Hey.
Next time in person, I promise, Carlos.